At the beginning of the school year, I wrote a letter to a future student, discussing everything I believed music to be, the values it held, and what I wanted to provide for them as a teacher in terms of music education. Now, months later, I've had excellent opportunities to hear from guest speakers. I was able to attend an excellent workshop for ukuleles. That was a lot of fun. I interviewed both teacher and student alike to align perspectives, and most importantly, I learned a lot about various elements of teaching in the music classroom that I never even thought of before. So, needless to say, the contents of my original letter have changed quite significantly. Over these past few months, there's certainly been a lot of content to challenge my level of knowledge entering the course with. Uh, First and foremost, readings in the course covered various topics that I already had felt pretty passionate about, but still managed to introduce a lot of new concepts to me over the span of reading them. Rose and Countryman's article, Repositioning the Elements, How Students Talk About Music, it was incredibly interesting, with the perspective of encouraging informal language related to music and the benefits that come with it. I was already somebody who prefers to use informal language in the first place, but seeing the effects it had on students' ability to socialize and interact more strongly over music just solidified it as something that I'd want to do, or something that I'd want to incorporate into a classroom in the future. Aside from just solidifying, though, there were a lot of articles that discussed entire new concepts to me, equally as interesting, such as Powell and Bernstein's article, Popular Music and Modern Band Principles, that presented the concept of teaching music as if it were a second language, comparing the learning of music to how we speak as children, placing a very heavy emphasis on pure communication rather than more traditional by the book learning. Those and all other readings we've had in the classroom have brought forth a lot of new knowledge, even if sometimes onto concepts that I already had personally explored to an extent. Most, if not all, of the articles we covered during class made me reconsidered what should be encouraged within classrooms, and I really appreciated that. The influential teacher assignment was something I am incredibly pleased to have had the opportunity for, as it opened the door for conversations that I would not have really had without it. In my interviews with my influential music teacher and one of his students that had an entirely different experience with him sparked a lot of thoughts within my mind that I would say directly impacted my thought process towards teaching. Seeing the similar musical background turn into such varying paths just based on their experience was not only an inspiration to become an educator that allows even students with negative experiences to want to continue with music, but it was an eye-opener into the mind of a student. What parts made it negative and how can that be fixed in addition to just adjustments to the course? My takeaway from it all was to not just adjust the course expectations, but rather to adjust how we interact with students as individuals instead of just a class. My philosophy at the start of the semester could easily be summed up by the importance of knowledge, fun, and engagement, as well as stressing the benefits I believe can be found within music and the importance of effort being rewarded. Admittedly, those were pretty vague statements for a philosophy, and if there's one notable change my teaching philosophy faced during this course, it was the expansion of those beliefs. The importance of knowledge became the importance of how to pass on that knowledge in an interesting and practical way. The importance of fun became the importance of creating an environment where students are encouraged to enjoy themselves. Engagement becoming how to create musical safe spaces. Once again, like the Powell and Bernstein article, the rewarding of effort becoming not just rewarding the class, but rewarding each and every individual talent that contributes to the classroom, even if just by being a part of it. The one thing that I may have repeated quite a bit, but I can't seem to stress it enough, is the importance of all of this. Music education in and of itself is something I believe to be incredibly important in our and future students' lives. And I believe that more so now than I ever have before. As it stands now, my goal as a future educator is to create a musical environment that encourages free discussion amongst peers as they engage in learning and enjoying music education, bringing the class together as a community of musicians while also rewarding and paying attention to the individual needs and wants of students. My pedagogy still has a lot of time to change, but I'm very happy with where I went and where it is now, and the room that it still has to grow, so that one day I might become a very good future educator.